Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, put your feet up. It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast with Declan McCormack, Wayne Mullins and Dan.
Three lads, one podcast.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, we reveal the brand new Cork City Sky Sports ad. Decky's Moneyball stats are here. Does Bulger get into the starting 11? Wayne comes back at him with some stats of his own. School's out for the students, and we have the Derry preview. All this mixed in with a question about Holland's future and the global catastrophic event. We hope you enjoy this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Hello and welcome to the Other Three Amigos podcast, season 3, episode 61, episode 169 in total. Your award-winning podcast for 2022. We are now on Patreon, patreon.com/ToeTap. Be sure to retweet the pod as it's so important to help us grow, and give us a follow on Instagram as well at the Other Three Amigos podcast. I'd like to say hello to my other two amigos, Wayne Mullins and Declan McCormack. Wayne, you're going to say
Mr. KC.
Horrible.
Hello, Mr.
That was horrible.
Cormac.
Mr. Mullins.
Is everyone good today?
Very formal.
Do you know, just getting ready for the fight that relegation has.
I thought you meant the fight over Bulger in midfield.
Oh,
don't
let's not
mention the
do it
war.
again. Once is enough. Once is enough. Jesus Christ.
The talk of the town last week. How have you been keeping?
Very good. I can't complain.
NordVPN/ToeTap.
Are we doing that again?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we forgot to tell you, Dan. NordVPN are back. And they want more of us.
We did forget. Yes, we did forget.
I know we
have
were
to
as
put it-
shocked as everybody else, but they are back. And they are sponsoring our show again.
Hooray.
Looking forward to the pay increase this week.
Well, we're doing it for free, of course.
Let's drive it on. Under-19s had a 4-2 victory over Derry City in Dublin. A Zach Dunn penalty and a Harvey Skeeter's hat-trick secured the win there. Under-17s 2-1 defeat to Shell's Jaden O'Donovan with the goal. And our under-15s, they lost 7-1 to St. Pat's. The Academy Twitter said we were playing Shamrock, but I checked FAI Connect. It was St. Pat's. Craig Nolan with City's only goal there. And our under-14s did not play. Dickie, do you want to keep us in the loop? Or Wayne, you're going to say something?
No, it was definitely Pat's, because I'd probably trust Cork City over the FAI app.
I mean, they probably still lost 7-1 either way. Like, would you trust that?
You know? Yeah.
But there's a conundrum now wrapped up in an enigma. Who do you trust more? Cork City Football Club or the FAI?
Jesus. You phone a friend on that one.
Like, as I said, a conundrum wrapped up
No, you'd have to
in
be
an
Cork
enigma.
City. You have to be Cork City.
Yeah, it would. It would have to be Cork City, is true.
Dickie, do you want to pick up the women's senior team played over the weekend in Bishopstown as predicted?
They did play in Bishopstown, as Scotty rightly pointed
Shocked
out
at that.
this time last week. Yeah, they beaten 3-1 by Athlone, but you know what? It was a very enjoyable game to watch. It was, it was a good game. 3-1, no disgrace in it. We go into much more detail in this week's Last Damas, which has lots of tinfoil hat moments as well, hence the name of the episode. But yeah, check out Last Damas for all that news.
Was there many added?
If you're coming...
I would say there was about 300 there, Scott. It's hard, obviously the stand is big and there was a lot of people down the far end of the stand, but I would have said in or around the 300 mark.
What kind of, is it mostly families, fans, staff, players? Like, who kind of shows up at these games these days?
Sure, look, I mean, it's hardcore football fans, be they family. Yeah, of course, there was families there. There was some members of the men's team were there. Richie Holland was there. Some members of the backroom team. You have die-hard Cork City fans. I saw a few of them around the place. Jerry Desmond was there, as he always is at any Cork City game. And the women's team have their own fans as well, So look, it was a nice, enjoyable.
It's a good
Saturday
turnout. 300 is a
afternoon
very
out.
good turnout. Because
No,
for
I will say
Stephen Gerrard's game in Saudi, they won the game and there was 362 people at the game.
it's mad,
So-
isn't it? Jordan Henderson changing the world. Yeah, it's mental. Look, I will say I am absolutely horrific at guessing crowd sizes. So to my eye, it was about 300. Somebody will say it was probably 120 officially or something, But yeah, look, it was. I thought it was a decent crowd considering the time and where it was on, etc.
A nice earner, so I suppose hopefully the cash goes back into the women's team.
So. Yeah, hopefully.
Father Dougal, about 17 million of them out there. The under 19 women's team, they beat Peamount 10-0. That's a crazy result, Dick.
10-0, yeah, that's that under 19 team's last game now. That team breaks up, so either they go into the first team squad next year or they move on maybe back into the Cork Senior League or wherever, or maybe to other League of Ireland clubs who may want them. It was also Jess
should we be looking out
Lawton's
for?
last game. I think, look, to be fair, Dan, I think the majority of them have already made the move up to step up to the senior teams. Your Ellie O'Brien's, Eva Mangans, Erin O'Brien has come up. Clodagh Fitzgerald has come into goal from the 17s. Obviously, you have Ciara Senna, Fianna Bradley. So I think it's probably fair to say, like, I don't want to preempt anything that may happen at the club, etc. But I would imagine that the vast majority of the girls who were going to make the step up have already done so. So we'll have to see what happens then regarding the rest of the girls.
Okay, well, it looks like a good future there for our women's team anyway, at least.
Commie Watch with Ivan Draco on the other Three Amigos podcast.
The Sky Sports ad. Good idea. Poor execution. Right? It does look like Usher whipped out the old Premiere Pro one night and just made an ad and sent it in. Wayne, I think you...
Wicked! Jungle is massive. Wicked!
What is going on?
Jungle is massive. Wicked!
That was Usher whipping out the whatever Dan said, something pro.
The Premiere Pro.
To make the Premiere Pro.
All right.
Yeah,
Put over my head anyway.
That's what that was.
Jungle is massive. Wayne,
Anyway.
do you have an opinion on this ad?
You know me, I hate to be critical. Like, generally, I know I always am, but brilliant idea. I absolutely adore the idea. I think it's brilliant because it's ad smart, so not everyone's getting it, right? And anyone who says online, I didn't see it, is it on Sky Sports? Yeah, they're using IPTV boxes. That's why they don't see it. So, but I just think that
Damien.
the first shot, the first camera shot, it goes over the bar. Both goals, they're missing the shot. It's still a decent ad. Like, I don't see anything really wrong with it. But I think if you're going on Sky Sports News, you need to be putting 3 or 4 games together. Now, whoever did it, I'm sure they had one chance to do it. And you they probably didn't have enough shots. I get that, but I just wish it was just. I wish they pumped money into it. You know what I mean? Even small things, right? I know people are going to go on about the font. The font. Our club have a club font. Okay, it's the font for the crest. Why aren't we using that? It's little things. You see, I always say little things, load little things together, and it makes the big things good. Things like the font. Things like instead of the first shot, camera shot, it goes over the bar. It's in the back of the net. Or a build up to a goal. I just think that. You know what? It's grand. It does a job. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it per se. But I just think if it's going on Sky Sports News, just nail it.
It did look a bit first year college project vibe.
I wouldn't go that. No, I wouldn't go that far and say that. But I think they should. Whoever did it should have been given more time. I'm just trying to say this properly without sounding like a complete arse. But I think if we just did it properly, I think. Well, I don't know whose fault. Is it the club? Is it the people who did it? But it just seemed like a rush job that I had to get in before a deadline. Just simple. Like I said, little things in the font, the music, it just fades in and it's fine. And I just wish it was done better. That's all. But look, it does the trick. But like on Sky Sports there, it was on last night, and the fixtures had changed obviously, and the ad came on, and it was just the Derry game, the right fixture, and the ad came on in the next one, and it was the wrong fixtures again. Again, not the club's fault probably, but it's again little things build up to big things. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah, but it was nice.
Took a while to get.
It was nice to see it though.
Oh, brilliant! I think the idea is absolutely amazing. I think it's great. I said to you, it's a brilliant idea. It's just execution just could be better. That's all I think. Like I'm no expert in it. I'm only saying what I think. As a fan watching this on TV, it's what I saw. I kind of went, oh, wish we nailed it. It was just a bit kind of. It was very Cork City. That's how I would put it.
Decky,
Can I ask you, Scotty, because you said it's a targeted ad, is it? In terms of...
Yes, ad smart, as far as... I didn't look into it completely, but it's targeted. Now, how they get the... I don't know, is it true? I haven't looked into it too much, but is it, they ask you questions when you sign up? Is it what you're looking at? Is it... But yeah, it's a targeted ad, so it doesn't go to all the homes.
Okay.
It's a bit like Facebook target,
so the chances
as far as I'm aware.
Right, okay. So the chances are it's been seen by people in Ireland, not people in England.
Oh no, it's 100% Ireland, because all ads on Sky Sports News are Irish ads. It probably hasn't been seen in Dublin. It's been seen in Cork.
All right, okay.
I could be completely wrong, because I didn't really look into it too much, but that's as far as I'm aware, AdSmart is targeting your audience.
All right, interesting.
Which again, it's fucking brilliant idea, but it's just, I wish it was just nailed.
Well, they got a second chance at it during the week. I don't know, Wayne, did you see the new one they have out? Calling the Rebel Army. Hello?
This is Black Cat the Big Flush. We've had to put Tunde up top. We need reinforcements.
The fuck is this?
Feeling peckish for some food options? Then shag and well eat before you turn up. Looking for something to do with the family? Come on down and watch your beloved mascot Corky, the cocaine-filled cheetah, get breathalyzed out the back of the Donny Ford. Just like in the African savannah. Speaking of the plains, check out our new grey painted toilet facilities. For the men, we have two options. Dry your hands on your pants, or don't dry them at all. And for the ladies, we have something a little special for you. Yes, Fairy liquid bottles available in all Lady Jacks at Turner's Cross. That's all Lady Jacks in Turner's Cross. But since you are a woman, just be grateful we're not sending you out to Bishopstown to wash them. The dishes, that is. Feel the energy and excitement of 215-year-olds telling you to shush. And we have something for the little ones as well. Declan McCormick teaches your child to call the ref a bastard. Here at Cork City FC, we like to keep things local. To the owner, so that's why we're having a barbecue at Tala and a golf event at the K Club. Take part in the unforgettable moments on the pitch, such as the time we threw a bottle at Mark Doyle's head, and the first time Shamrock Rovers came down this season. If you want a souvenir of your matchday experience, then come on over to our merchandise stand. We're here now having a deal on our jersey and Gorilla Glue combo, because that crest ain't lasting a 2-degree wash. Or for this season only, our memorabilia t-shirts, such as the time Chris scored against Bows, or the time Rory O'Hagan called Stanley Vicious, Stanley Vicious. Be sure to get in early and soak up the pre-match hype by listening to the classic football songs. Harry Styles, Ed Sheeran, Katy Perry, Beyonce, Britney Spears. I could go on and on. You probably hate your own family, so why not join this one? Cork City FC. Cork City FC are not responsible for anything Declan McCormick might do to your child.
Oh, do you know what, right? I haven't heard that before. I was trying to be nice. Oh, here we go again. I was trying to be nice about this video Not trying not to upset the club. He was just blown out of the water there now. Dad.
Well, they released it. I mean, seen it was on Sky Sports there the other day.
Oh, Jesus.
Rory Keating won, was it journalist player of the month? Or was he just player of the month in general for September?
Did you see the state of the photograph?
Yeah, I was talking about this. They probably took him from Bishopstown to take him to Turner's Cross, yet took the photo down the side alley there.
Even Donnox now, who's like lost all faith and belief, doesn't give a shit anymore. Text me going, "Have you seen the state of this?" And I was like, I know they're going for the whole rustic look. Is that the word you used? Is rustic the right word to use? It's just. Yeah. I thought it was outside the Jacks. To be honest with you, it just looks like it's outside the Jacks and Bishop Turner's Cross.
Maybe they're trying to go for a street vibe kind of.
That's the word. Street rustic, we call it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's player of the month, league player of the month. And there was some really good photographs taken in Turner's Cross because they were put out afterwards on the league account, etc. And that's the one we went with. Like, it's just like, come on. We can do better than this, in my opinion. In my opinion, yeah. Yeah. And it's not an area we fall down in, to be fair, very often. Like, the graphics are always top class.
We even have
Howie.
He should not be in this league. Like, if there's a player to transfer, someone to transfer to another club, I'd be sending Howie and I'd be getting a fee for him. I generally would, because he's outgrown his club 100%. And
he should be admin for Man United or something.
He should be somewhere in the UK in the higher echelons of British football, 100%. And like. He needs to fly, Howie, grow his wings and fucking fly over to the UK and make the money he deserves to be making, I say.
I hope his love of Cork City just doesn't hold him back.
Yeah. Well, even the graphic Friday for the UCD game, where the graphic went up originally with Ben Warman on the graphic, and then the game's called off, and the called off graphic has Warman with an umbrella. Game's off due to unplayable pitch, and it's so easy, but it's so clever and it's so catchy. You see it and you just go, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. And as I said, we don't ever slip up on that side of the club.
He's got a clause in his contract anyway, hopefully.
Relegation clause.
I know we're not going to know anymore, but...
No. Oh, come here now. That's an interesting one. Because I was asked this the other day and I went back and I had a look and a few things. What was said was that there was going to be no clauses. What appears to have been said was that there was going to be no release clauses put into contracts for players. Are there relegation clauses? Are there other clauses that players have outs on which, may become issues?
A release clause is a release clause, Decky, like... Do you know what I mean? A release clause is a release clause, whether that be relegation, a fee, or like goals or something. You can have a release clause if you score goals or something.
I had this conversation with somebody and we went back over stuff and we looked at stuff, and I think there's a question there that needs to be clarified. And look, this will go out on Wednesday. Lots of people, maybe they could clarify with Richie at the press conference on Thursday, whenever it happens or whatnot. When we said no clauses, did we just mean release clauses in terms of, Dan's not getting €100,000 release clause from Totap? Shreenan went on a free transfer. We're not allowing that to happen again, So Dan has no release clause where somebody can come in and pay that money and take him off us. But if we're relegated to Division 1 of League of Ireland Podcasts and Cork City Podcasts, does Dan have a right to walk away for nothing? Who knows? I don't know is the honest answer.
Firstly, this is, again, I'm going to say, classic Cork City. We shouldn't have even announced it in the first place. It was all like blood rushing to the head again, announcing stuff. Because this is the kind of stuff this is the kind of mess we get ourselves into. People aren't sure. As far as I'm aware, it's all clauses. And it also is in relation to current contracts to be extended. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So whether this is for, I assume this was new contracts, new players coming in. This is down to the Keating thing. Does Keating have a clause in his contract? If he does, and we get relegated, and he gets released, there's going to be war again, and it's down to the club's fault again because they didn't clarify stuff properly. They blood rush to the head. They say something stupid in the media, and then they can't take it back. Because what happens now is if we get a player in, what happens to a player going to Bows or Shells now? Because we wouldn't give him a release clause. You know what I mean? Is it the player's fault? Is it the club's fault? You don't announce this thing. You shouldn't announce it in the first place. I know it's trying to make the fans feel better and, we're doing so well, fair play. And I'm all for it. I'm all for no clauses. To be clarified, I'm all for it because I'm a supporter, I'm a fan. That's how I think. But did we shoot ourselves in the foot saying it in public? When agents are going to be looking at it going, why would you send our player to there? Yeah. Like, at least get the player engaged with the club before. We've already stopped that agent contacting the club because he's going to go, what's the point? I can't get my player out here for 100 grand. I'll go to Waterford or Shells or Bows and I'll give it to me for 100 grand.
That's what made us think that it was specifically clauses related to kids coming out of the academy signing their first pro deals, that there would be no release clause in that first pro deal. But I don't think, and again, it's just an interpretation, I don't think it actually covered, as you say, things like relegation release clauses or transfer value clauses and those kind of things, you know. I think it specifically relates to players stepping out of the academy and signing that pro contract.
So but it's not a new player.
That's my interpretation.
So if we sign someone from, say, Everton under 19s, he gets released, he signs for us. It doesn't apply to him. Because that's not what they said.
It would. You see, I don't know is the honest answer. I don't know. And we're not in a position to ask those questions anymore and seek some clarity.
It shouldn't. We shouldn't even be knowing the answers to these. You know what I mean? These shouldn't even be in public. It should be a private thing where they say, "Look, no, not happening. Go away, try the next club." But what could happen is people like, I know Uma's gone to Benfica, but he could easily have gone to Rovers or Shells and got the release clause. This is the problem.
It is, but like if you're talking about kids stepping out of the academy, I'm all for it. Like I'm just like, we can't keep going the way we're going.
Absolutely, 100%. Kids, I agree.
Kids are getting looked after. Like Jaden Numa's getting looked after with a move to Benfica. Matthew Moore got a move to, is it Hoffenheim, wasn't it, in Germany?
Hoffenheim.
You know, yeah, he's getting looked after, you know, and I think we can do it that way, definitely.
It's also important to mention that I don't remember any player who's ever been held back at this club from a move.
That's also true, yes. That's also
I can't think of any player that we've gone, shit, we really should. Ogbene, that was nothing to do with holding him back. I can't think of any player. I think every player that's come through, we've kind of, okay, we're realistic, I think, anyway.
Yeah, no, that is fair.
And fair.
That
and
is
fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, it may get clarified now that we have asked a couple of questions around it, you know.
Did you see Jake O'Brien starting with Lovren, I think, last week?
Leon.
For Leon. Yeah.
Leon.
Lovren or Belgium. He started 4 in a row now.
No, with Lovren.
Sorry, with the club. Yeah, he started 4 in a row now. And according to their forums and stuff, he's been one of their better players. Now, he made a mistake last week, I think, and his first appearance. But they're saying he's, for what he's worked and stuff, he's one of their better players. Like, they're bottom of the table. It's shocking how bad they are. They've so many good players, and it's just like, what's happening? Same with Ajax. Ajax are screwed as well in Holland.
I'd imagine Lovren learned a thing or two from him anyway.
What, Dickie?
I said I'd imagine Lovren learned a thing or two from him. Anyway.
That's going over my head anyway.
Deckie's an Everton fan. Lovren's Liverpool. It's just bitterness and twistedness.
Okay. I was like, he learned to be a 6'5" ginger. He did. Dickie, your Moneyball stats. Are they happening tonight, or are we just going to cause World War III here?
No, I'm just going to keep it very simple. You asked me for a Moneyball 11, Dan.
Yeah.
You know, based on things. So I'm just going to give the 11. There's a couple of shocks in here. Scotty's holding something.
Oh,
up.
I can tell you now. Wayne has gone.
The player ratings. Are they the player ratings from SofaScore, Scott, by any chance? No?
I'm keeping these in my pocket for when I need them.
Okay. The Moneyball 11 as kind of, look, as I said, this is crude and it's rough because some players have only played or started 3 or 4 games. But look, anyway, Jimmy Corcoran's in goal, boys. You know? Gordon Walker right back, Kustovic and Hakkinen centre backs, John O'Donovan left back, Jace Kabia right side of midfield, Bulger, Kravchuk and Warman. You know, Bulger, Kravchuk is a 2, Warman on the left, Joe O'Brien, Whitmarsh. As we went against UCD on Sunday, Joe O'Brien, Whitmarsh playing as a 10 and then getting up to Keats, who is obviously up top. That would be the Moneyball 11. I know that's not going to sit well with most people, but
Oh, Jesus.
lucky enough it won't be picked off a Moneyball 11 anyway.
What was the I said I thought Kustovic was the best player at the club. What was the stat you said about him in the group earlier? Who's insane?
Kustovic, yeah. Let me just see the number of games now to be absolutely correct. Kustovic has started Kustovic has started 22 games and not started 11 games. In the 22 games he started, we conceded 32 goals, which is 1.45 goals per game. Now, lads, these numbers are horrific anyway. You know, let's not make it out to be something where it's not. But in the 11 games he didn't start, we conceded 27 goals, which is 2.45 goals per game.
Jesus.
So in games he didn't start, we conceded a goal a game more on average than we conceded in games that he did start, which is significant, I would think.
That's huge.
It's a big difference.
You're biting into your fist there. Over what?
Come on, out with it. What is it? Out with it. We don't know, like.
Carry on. No.
Has the Kustovic stat upset you? The goal?
No. It's the next stat's going to set me, I think.
I don't think there is a next stat coming.
Next one is.
Oh, I thought you were going to
I don't think there is, yeah. No.
You were ready with those sofa scores.
I was only asked about Kustovic. I mean,
it's okay.
Oh, Wayne, spill the beans. Wayne, spill the beans.
No.
Wayne.
I'm not going to upset the Bulger fans of the world. I did have 2 DMs from unnamed people suggesting that I was correct, but they were also too afraid to say it in public. Anyway, look.
Well, like, I had 3 DMs. I had 3 DMs from people suggesting that I was correct.
Look.
One person told me to my face in Bishopstown on Saturday that I was also correct. So that's 4.
That's fair. Look, if you think you're correct, but the stats show me as a 2 in midfield, it's not correct. Okay, that's all. 3
stats
midfield,
are clear.
Not a problem.
Stats are clear.
Go on, so hit him out. Go on, show him. Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it. You might as well.
Look. Okay, Bulger.
If you don't want to,
Bulger didn't start 6 games. In the 6 games he hasn't started, we lost 5 and drew 1. That's the stat that's most significant. Here, it's opening the door for you. Now, come on, drop your bombshell. You've been waiting to do it with 6 hours. You've been waiting to do it with 6 hours. Come on, drop the bombshell. Come on.
I just don't think he's very good in the midfield too. He gives the ball away too often. That's my thing. I think he doesn't. For a defensive minded midfielder, if you're a striker or a winger, I get it. But for a defensive midfielder that he gives the ball away far too much. That's my opinion on it. It's not. Look, still a good player. Like, I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just saying, going on the heat maps and going on the possession lost, the bad stats are far higher than the other 3 midfielders. That's all I'm saying. Now you got pro stats, you got the points per game, you've got the goal. I get that. But the stats of losing possession, Jules, they're all low. Or losing possession is fucking massive compared to anyone else in the team in the whole squad.
Right.
And that for me, in a key position where you need to hold onto the ball, for me, that's my reason. And I knew this last 2 weeks ago. I didn't just get this fucking 2 days ago.
Can I ask you a question? And it's a genuine question now, and move it away from Aaron Bolger. Right, move it away from Aaron Bolger and even move it away from Cork City. Because it's, funnily enough, it's a conversation that I genuinely had with Eileen Ring in Bishopstown on Saturday. You talked there about losing possession, right? And I was reading something, it must be a month ago, and I'll try and find it for you, Wayne, where the author was talking about players and agents now are starting to realise how significant stats are becoming. And stats like that, like the ones about losing possession, etc., are very key. And what the author was arguing is that you're now in a period in football where midfielders, especially, won't try that pass that they know is only going to work 1 in 7 or 8 times, but the one time it does work, it's going to put your right winger in 1-on-1 with the keeper or whatever. They'd much rather play the safe ball because subconsciously, maybe even they know it's going to be a pass completed. They're not going to lose possession, and therefore, it's better for them in the long term. And myself and Eileen were talking about it on Saturday in Bishopstown, and it was just a general conversation. But it was kind of like it's probably something that is happening in that players are no longer
defensive
playing
midfielder,
riskier
you
passes.
need to be playing the safe passes. That's the thing. Like, he lost possession nearly 14 times per game. It's far outweighs any other player. And that's the one that scares me in a 2-man midfield. You can't be losing possession. You need to hold on to it. And one touch, you can't be doing 3 or 4 touches. That's my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. It's just, this is why football is amazing. This is why it is. And this is why this argument works. Because you have one opinion, and I'd be a different manager. I have a different opinion. I'd play him in a 3. But if he's losing possession 14 times compared to Whitmarsh is 7, Kravchuk is like 7 times again, Warman is like 9. It's massive for me.
Okay. Can I just ask, does that take into context how often those players have the ball? Because if you say Kravchuk loses possession 7 times in a game, and for instance, he only has it 20 times, whereas you say Bolger loses it 14, but he has it maybe 60 times. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
100% you're right, but Bolger is in a position for me where it's probably the most important part of the pitch. It's the fulcrum. You could either be the quarterback, you could be the defensive midfielder, you could be as in a deep line playmaker, I should say. But I think if you're losing possession, for me, that position is touch. Roy Keane, simple pass to your left, simple to your right. And I think he's doing too much. Whether he's been told this, I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm really not. And what came across last week, he's not a bad player. But for me, in a 4-4-2, I wouldn't have him there. That's all. It's no big deal. I'm not saying he's shit. I'm saying that he's a good player, obviously.
And to me, then, I'm the complete opposite, because in a 4-4-2, I wouldn't put a 4-4-2 out without him there, because, as I said, there's no ball winner then. There's nobody to get the possession back for. No, it's ironic if the reason he's getting possession back is because he's losing it in the first place. You know, I mean, I could take that on board. But as I said, the stuff I had, and I'm not going to go into it in great because we'll be here all night, but the 6 games he didn't play, we managed 0.17 points per game. The games he has played, we're managing 1.7. So there's a difference of 0.91 points per game, which is the biggest.
It was Buckley who dropped him, wasn't it? When he came in initially. I'm trying to remember. I think he was suspended, wasn't he? And he didn't get back in then for 2 games after the suspension. I should know that, but I don't off the top of my head. But I think that's what it was. I just remember our conversations we were having that we were saying Buckley didn't fancy him. I remember the conversation. I remember.
Yeah, and I remember saying that I thought that he left him out for 2 games. But I think, to be fair to Aaron, I think he worked his way back in under Liam Buckley. Look, I don't expect Aaron Bolger to be here next year.
Do you think he'd be at Rovers or Shells? You said.
Yeah, I think. Like, Shells were definitely in for him this time last year. There's no doubt about that. And he felt that he owed Colin Healy a year and a season. And he felt like Colin had rescued him, given him another chance when nobody else would touch him. And he wanted to be loyal to Colin. And he stayed with City. And I think now that Colin's gone, I think that loyalty is probably gone to a degree. That's not a criticism of Aaron, you know. And I think he probably ends up back in Dublin. There was talk over the weekend. Duff was at the UCD game. There was talk that Duff was there checking out Bulger again. I don't know how accurate that is, to be honest.
Bradley was there.
Bradley was there. Well, we're playing Rovers next week, so you'd expect, you know, I think people were saying as
there
well.
There was a few managers there, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah. I think people were saying Bradley was looking at Keats, but I think Bradley had to be there because we played him next week. You know, I think it was...
Keith Long was there too, I believe.
The natural. Keith Long was... Yeah, I guess looking for the playoff, you know. I mean, he'd have to watch us as well, so... But look, it's going to be very interesting. Like last week's thing was all speculation. I think the speculation is starting to ramp up this week a little bit. Again, coming out of Sunday, Aaron Green's name is starting to be thrown around as one we're possibly looking at for next season. Obviously, Bulger is one that's maybe being linked with moving away. Obviously, we know we're probably losing Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh. Not a surprise one, but maybe one that people wouldn't have thought of to keep an eye on would be Josh Honohan, maybe. And as I said, speculation is going to ramp from here on in.
He's in UCC, so they're not going to...
Yeah. He well, look, I mean, it was just a name given to me today by somebody I trust that maybe there might be interest in Josh.
Well, to be honest, like, the whole squad needs a revamp, so...
It does need a massive revamp. Huge. But then, Scott, I was thinking about this today. Who'd you bring in? Like you're looking for players then who were probably on the fringes of other teams, you know, and...
You do the opposite what you did this year. You get experience in. Get players in their 30s.
See,
stabilise us. Like
Aaron Green.
I think this
Aaron
year.
Green fits that bill. He's only played 3 games for Shamrock Rovers.
Jesus, when you say it like that, I'm kind of going, oh my God. But yeah, I suppose players like that. You know what I mean? Maybe Aaron Green went out. Like.
But that's the market you're going to be shopping in. I've no doubt about that. I was trying to think today, maybe Ben McCormack at Pats might be one. Hasn't seen much game time under John Daly.
You never know, like.
Yeah. McCormack hasn't seen much game time under John Daly, but was a regular early in the season for Pats. That's just me. Like, I could be talking absolute nonsense, but he looks like a guy who would be leaving Pats, so maybe you could do something there. As I said, look, it's going to be massive speculation for the next while.
Yeah, but do you reckon we'll go fishing in the same pond like we did last year? The lads from Sweden, etc.
No, that's done.
I think I don't mind it. Like we've done okay. We've like
Kresic didn't get his chance. Kostovich is unreal.
Kresic fell because of the formation. If he was here now and he arrived in July, he'd be starting without doubt.
Yeah.
He just went too soon.
I think Kresic is the biggest. What's the word? I was going to say victim, but that might be a fair word. But he's the biggest casualty of the Liam Buckley reign. For whatever reason, Liam Buckley just didn't fancy him, and that was Kresic done. I don't know whether Richie Holland would have fancied him or not. I think obviously Kostovich is a big success. You wanna, hopefully, we already have him nailed down for next year. I don't know whether we have.
So the contract, that's the problem.
But like, Jonas has come from that part of the world, has done really well. I think the problem we face is that if I'm at a club, you know, like other clubs, Bows, Pats, Shells, whatever, I'm looking at Kevin Kostovich and going, he's a player I want, like. I'm also probably looking at Jonas Hakkinen going, he's a player I want, so, you know.
We're 40 minutes in here, lads.
It's probably when money comes into it. I can tell you, we might not be jacking off, but we're going wanking with Waweru. He's put the Ramblers up 1-0 against Wexford tonight.
Oh Jesus, Dan! It never surprised me.
How did I miss it? I actually have it on here on the other laptop, and I was so busy talking to you guys, looking at it. I actually completely missed the goal.
Are the 2 matches on tonight?
Yeah, they're
it's
both on tonight. Athlone are playing Waterford as well. Yeah.
Actually, is it on
Cove Waterford final? Cove beat Waterford, It's us versus Cove.
It is on LOI TV, yeah.
Just so people know, that was announced. The shed / corner blocks ban that's now transferred to the Derry game. I think that was questioned for later on anyway. Anything you want to pick up on in Commie Watch? I feel like I've missed something.
On.
have we ever been 40 minutes in and still on Commie Watch? Have we? Jesus.
And that concludes our first half Toad Tap, where we now have a message from our kind sponsors, NordVPN.
This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, so listen up to the ad and hear what it's all about and get our offer for you. So, what is a VPN? Here's the nerd porn. A VPN connection establishes a secure connection between you and the internet. Via the VPN, all your data traffic is routed through an encrypted virtual tunnel. This disguises your IP address when you use the internet, making its location invisible to everyone. Now the geeks have just blown their load. Here's for the normal person. So basically you can browse the net safely. Is that all I hear you ask? Absolutely not. If you think the government is watching you, then fear no more tinfoil hat man. They can't. With NordVPN, what else? Every wanted to watch BBC Player, or something that's not available in your location. With NordVPN, you can watch all the stuff that you want in any location. Netflix across the world is available, so you can access the latest episode of that Mexican soap opera that you've always wanted save money. Other countries can get stuff way cheaper, so jussy pop yourself in a different location and watch the bank balance, thank you. And of course, enjoy you time, you dirty man. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/totap to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 additional months for free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee.
Welcome back to part 2 Toad Tap. We now have the UCD review. UCD 0, City 2. A result that papers over the cracks, question mark, is what I wrote down earlier.
No,
do you agree with that?
That's a bit harsh. Who wrote that?
I did.
Oh, that was
but I didn't see the game properly.
That was a proper... I think it was a professional win. I do. And the one thing I took from that is Gordon Walker is a fantastic inverted fullback. Winger, bring back. I thought he was amazing. I did, and I voted for him MVP. I know it wasn't that high, but I thought he was brilliant.
Maybe the Moneyball stats are absolutely correct.
Maybe they are. At one stage, Walker was inside the 6-yard box. Do you know what I mean? I thought this is great.
Yeah, you could give Richie and the coaching team a bit of credit there as well, I think, because they started... No, I know we had an illness in the camp and, Conor Drynan wasn't fit. He was ill, I believe. Donovan is suspended, so Kustovic played on the left and you'd Walker on the right. And... Ben Warman started on the right. And Warman was tucking in, especially when we were in possession. And he was leaving that side of the pitch open for Walker to get forward in. And to be fair to Gordon, he did it regularly, and he probably should have scored the first goal instead of Joe Brian Whitmarsh getting the follow-up. But yeah, I thought Walker played well. I thought it was an interesting one, but it was a nice little tactical twinge from Richie that just had Warman when we were in possession, just pulling inside, narrowing that side and giving it to Walker to go. And go he did, to be fair to him.
You starting Walker in the next game?
Personally, and it's nothing against Gordon, I'm not. I'm starting John O'Donovan. Who's Joe O'Donovan? John O'Donovan at left back, and I'm starting Kevin Kustovic right back. That's just me personally.
Okay. And Hakkinen, Coleman?
Hakkinen and Coleman. I believe Keane was one of the victims of the illness. Maybe hence that's why he was on the bench on Sunday. I think Keats was another one who was maybe ill at some stage during the week as well. So
did it ever come out what that illness was?
Careful now, lads, careful.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm just very afraid here now.
I was trying to set you up and hoping one of you'd bite on it, but
hey.
No. Around too long for that now, Dan.
What to make? There was a bit of a howler by Byrne in the 18th minute. It was like a miscommunication between himself and Honohan. Is that
Yeah, it wasn't.
Did he have a mistake in him? Are we bringing back Corcoran?
It happens. I don't know who to blame. It's a communication error between the two of them. I don't know which of them was responsible. I always feel like in that situation, I always have a tendency to blame the goalkeeper. I don't know, is that unfair on goalkeepers in general? But I'm like, they're the ones who can see the game in front of them, and they have to be communicating. I can't say, and I'm not saying that Ollie Byrne didn't communicate there. I just, look.
Sounds like you are, really.
No, I'm not at all. I mean, it's just one of those things, and we got away with it, so I wouldn't have even brought it up, to be honest with you.
Well, it could have
just
the game
some scanning.
on its head completely, like. But anyway, just forget about it.
Just some scanning through the highlights. UCD seems to be. I know they're probably UCD highlights, but they seem to be all over us for the first 20 odd minutes.
That was just they're shite. They deserve to go down. Simple as.
They had periods in the game.
Won't be far behind.
They did. Like, Ollie Byrne made a couple of very good saves. To be fair to him, he did. Like, but as I said, I don't want to read too much into performance because we know that there was an illness in the camp. Richie spoke about it. Then the game was put off Friday and was played on Sunday. We probably got a couple back into the team that maybe wouldn't have been in the team on Friday, but how fit were they, etc., etc. So I think it was just one of those ones where the result far outweighs the importance of the performance. And look, we won 2-0. Job done. Joe Brian Whitmarsh was absolutely outstanding, exceptional. And I hope he sticks with that going forward. That 1-1, 4-4-1-1 type scenario where Joe just plays just behind Keaton. I think it worked very well, and Joe gets up to him as well to support them a lot of the time. Like, so I think it's definitely a better option than the Keating Murphy 2, in my opinion.
It was a very George O'Callaghan type of position he was playing.
Yeah.
One of our many problems during the years. Sorry, I keep interrupting you both. The delay on it is crazy. Go ahead, Derky.
No, I was just going to say, I wondered did a certain Mr. O'Flynn have anything to do with that? That
good
setup,
point. Yeah, good point. Jesus, good thinking.
Well, I suppose one of our problems was, one of many problems was we weren't getting the ball quick enough into Keaton, and now with Joe being in that position, that definitely seems to negate that as well. The speed of him and the speed he can get the ball from under his feet as well. It's
the quickness of a release. It's the 1 touch, 2 touches max, and it's gone. Like, and that's what I think. That's a lot of our players don't have that in them, and that's why I hope he stays next year. I think he'd be for a fellow who's 17. Like, if we keep him one more year, even I think he'd be key to our attacking threat next season, whatever division.
Hopefully. And then Warman had the lovely pass it to Keaton for his second goal as well, which wasn't. And then it was kind of job done from then on, really.
Yeah, it's a lovely little flicked header from Ben Warman. And it's a great finish from Keats, to be fair to him. Took the paint off the inside of the post. Oh, it's just a striker's goal. As Scotty said, you want the release, and it's the flicked header, and he's onto it straight away. And, 1 touch, bang, it's in the back of the net. And he is 13 now for the season. Like, it's pretty
remarkable. How much football jargon
can
you put into one sentence? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a bit much, all right, wasn't it? But like, Keats has 13, but he's only 2 from the penalty spot, so he has 11 from open play. The rest of them all have more from the penalty spot than Keats, so he has the most goals from open play this season. I know they don't count for anything extra, but it is pretty remarkable, as when Scotty has just pointed out that we probably don't get the ball into him quick enough, and the speed of play, speed of thought around him probably isn't where it would want him to be. To see him still sitting at the top of the goal scoring charts is a pretty remarkable achievement.
All the top 5 teams are going to be in from now, which is the worrying thing about it. It's now time for the most prestigious award in world football. Dick, your pussy's gone mad again. It's the TOTAP MVP.
I can't. I was.
God, Jesus Christ!
You just take it up all wrong, like.
You don't help yourself, like.
Sorry, yeah, I know. Where was I? I completely.
You're going for the Totap MVP theme if we have it. Oh, we don't have it.
I don't have MVP. Don't have MVP.
The podcast is getting worse, lads, every week. Shambles.
Guarantee it'll turn out absolutely fine because of the work you'll do with it. The MVP total.
Awards, here we go.
Rory Keating came in first place, 46.3% of the vote. Joe Brian Whitmarsh with 32.8%. Magic Metalcock with 14.3%. How good is he, actually? And Walker Texas Ranger with 6.6%.
That's shocking. I'm sorry now. Whoever, like, how was you getting 6.6? That's... You should be ashamed of yourself, City fans.
Can I also object to this MVP award? Like, Scotty's objecting over Walker's total. I cannot believe that Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh was not MVP in this game.
Do you know what this is now? This classic case of people not actually watching the match and just picking Keating. This is what happened.
Yeah, I think because, like, Rory did I know he scored, but outside of scoring, he actually did absolutely nothing in the game. And I don't think he'll mind us saying that, And I was looking at this vote and going, how were they making Keating MVP? Like, Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh was like the best player, in my opinion, the best player in the pitch by an absolute country mile. Like, it wasn't, I thought he would win it with 65%, like, no bother whatsoever. Like, 32% or 33% for Joe. But look, the fans, it's their award. It's their award. So they're quite entitled to just vote for Rory if they want. It's technically, it's officially over now anyway. No matter what happens, the result cannot change. It has been
we gotta get to meet him.
Cameo. We're not allowed.
I'd have me doubts, Dan.
Arrange a secret meet.
It'll be back to the, like, season 1 where myself and Scotty are trying to throw the trophy over the side of the pitch to Bagsy at the end of the first division.
We'll give it to him when he's
Jonas,
Derry.
Yeah? Get Bagsy. Send Bagsy over to us.
Do you know the person we couldn't get to do it? Do you remember?
Oh, I do. I'm
not going to mention name, but remember the person we were going to get to do it?
Oh, yes.
He's not available, but his son is available.
All right, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We'll see.
Who you're on about.
Well, Dan, if you paid attention to the group, you're actually turned into Shreenan Junior at this stage. You actually have, like...
That's because you talk about all the women's football and stuff in there, and I
don't.
Well, you
That's
don't. The rest of them be live texting the game.
While they're sitting next to each other.
Lads,
exactly, I know, yeah.
Do tell us, lads, what's wrong with the women's football?
There's nothing wrong with it, right? But when you have two lads talking as if they know what they're talking about, that's when I have an issue. I draw the line there, like, Eileen's the only person who's qualified to talk about women's football, all right?
That's just
You're all
sexism,
blowing. You're all blowing. She's been
That's an outright sexism, like.
It absolutely is.
Myself and John are not qualified. You can't say myself and John are not qualified to talk about women's football.
No, Cork City women. No, because Eileen's been around for decades. Not decades, because she's not that old, but a few years. So I don't. These blowings coming in going, oh,
Eileen's an old
pivot of Eva Mangan and pivot of fucking whoever else is in the team. Great players. I just can't name them in my head right now. But I'm just saying that she's qualified to do it and you're not, right? End of story.
Tell you now, folks, you're getting an insight. Finally, you're getting an insight into what life is like in Toe Tap Towers.
I'll be totally honest. I have the group chat muted, so I only see it if I get added, and then I'll go in at the odd time and then have to scroll through.
You're literally just following and streaming. You're literally streaming gone. Like you're doing him.
Yeah.
There'd be 100 messages going in that during the women's game.
But they don't talk about it all the time. It's like 5 days a week, maybe. That's what it really. And then the men's is 2 days a week. It's Friday and Saturday.
There was one match in particular that just did it for me. I was like, all right, that's that.
Sexist.
What's your issue with the women's game, Danny boy?
Dan, yeah.
I have no issue with the women's game.
I'm telling you, don't bite. There's some people listen to this are going to be sending emails to Off the Ball complaining about the sexism. Complaining about the sexism. Exploit or
don't give them ideas because they actually will.
Don't be using the explosion word, Decky, for fuck's sake. Oh God.
Moving swiftly on to
otb.ie.
Moving on swiftly to hashtag Penny for your thoughts. Oh my God, I love this Cork City women's team. That comes in from Dan Casey.
Penny for your thoughts.
Magpie says, like a pre-season friendly, especially in the second half. Pity we did not beat them in our 2 previous meetings. Would have meant a lot. Now, Dunca, Noonan, it's an improvement on the recent performances against them. Looked a bit like training, which is probably a good sign. Got a kick on now. Dara Hogan, shocking performance, 3 points nonetheless. Billy Dorney, I'm delighted to be honest. I don't care if they used their Mickeys and more high heels to score. A win's a win. City till I die. He also comes in with a few. That's relief. Onwards, lads. LY Observer, average performance, but the win is all that mattered. Nice clean sheet as well. Did a very good defensive job. Better than the dross under Buckley. 3 points, says B. Cronin. Grand poor opposition. Inky ink. Eagle up eagle. It's like Ireland beating Gibraltar. It's 3 points. It is what it is. Anything you want to pick up on there? No?
No, I think most of it is fair, to be honest. It is what it is. You beat UCD. Move on.
Okay, and we're going to move on. Cork City versus Derry City, October the 27th in Turner's Cross. Are we playing the same team we did against UCD? What changes are we making? Going to start with you here, Wayne.
Kostovic has to go right back, as Decky says. I would play Walker, but I'd play him against teams were going to be on the front foot. I'd actually play Walker, I think, in the playoff game if we're playing at Lone Cove or who else is in it? Who am I missing? Wexford, that's it. We're on the TV there. So you'd probably put Kostovic there on the right, O'Donovan on the left. I'd probably keep the rest of it. I'm not going on the Bulger route again, but look, let's just play him. Keeps Eki happy.
Decky's Bulger starting for you.
I think that team is Erina. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. He was captain on Sunday as well. I think it's just about getting minutes into Kevin Kostovic. He's vital. I think Kostovic right back, Josh and Jonas with John O'Donovan left back is probably the way it might work out. And then obviously the 4 in front of them more or less picked themselves. Now I liked Dykesteel on the left against UCD. I think he's worth another go. We need to see it. I like that cutting in on his right foot. I just wish when he did cut it in, he just let it go. He seemed to take a couple of occasions, took too much out of it. We saw what he can do against Wexford when he cut in from that side and buried it. So just let it go. But I think I'd go pretty much the same team. I liked that, as I said already, up top, Joe O'Brien just playing in behind Rory Keaton. Kravchuk, Bulger, Warman, and Dykesteel. Pretty much the same team again, yeah.
And what are we expecting from Derry City? Their form isn't great at the moment. They've been overtaken by Pats. Don't have that much of a prolific striker. Do you reckon we could take him, Decky?
I don't know is the honest answer. I mean, we've had 3 goals off them this year. They haven't been great in any of the games. They've still won all 3. We have more to play for than they do. I think it's starting to creep up now. What if Sligo don't get another point, which could easily happen?
I don't think they will.
Then you get well, if we can win 2 and draw one of the last 3 games, we're right there, where we can finish ahead of them. So, it's really a case of it is the hope that kills you. Like, it really is the hope that kills you. But we have something to play for. They don't. They've guaranteed Europe. They can't win the league. They don't have a striker. They've gone 2 0-0 draws in a row. We haven't had a 0-0 draw this season, so hopefully they don't make it 3 anyway.
I think out of the 3 games, this is probably the easiest, and those are most likely to win, because Bows are going to be fighting on the last day for Europe, presumably. Or will they have the FA
Cup final? Yeah.
Cup final. But they will be playing for a place in the cup final. Like, no, Buckley, their captain in central midfield or right back, depending on where he's at, he did his ACL on Friday night against Pats. So he's gone. That's a massive loss for Bows, but we can have a look at Bows next week, you know.
Okay, your predictions for the Derry game. Wayne.
2-1 Cork City. I believe in miracles.
Decky.
Yeah, I was going to say 2-1 as well, to be honest, so I'll stick with it. I don't know, have we ever gone for the same result before, but I think... Oh, Cove just hit the crossbar, did I? I think... I hope and I pray that Richie Holland can manufacture something. And then we have Rovers on Monday. And
we could have a huge crowd
with a chance of keeping ourselves up. We could. Well, they'll only give us 10%, so we can't. Like, they'll only give us 350 tickets.
But we'll fill out that mono stand offer in it.
Yeah, that's 350 as far as I'm aware. So that's all we can get from them.
All right, I'm saying 1-0 to City against Derry. We kind of did the Shamrock preview already. Anything about the 4:45 kickoff you want to add? Good time, bad time?
No. I guess the only thing to point out is that the shed closure, the stand closures now for the Derry game, as you've said, Dan. I think not for the Rovers game. 4:45 in a bank holiday Monday. It is what it is. Look, if Rovers beat Pats on Friday night, they'll have the league won. So hopefully they beat Pats on Friday night. They're on the piss on Saturday.
Jesus Christ!
Piss on Sunday.
Is there ducks in as well as the cat? There's a bit of quacking going on.
Cat's asleep, no? Cat's asleep, boys. She won't bother anybody. So yeah, so hopefully Rovers beat Pats on Friday night, win the league, are on the piss for the weekend, and we batter them then in Turner's Cross. The question then becomes, Wayne, if they do win the league on Friday night, do we give them a guard of honour onto the pitch in Turner's Cross on Monday?
Absolutely not. Under no circumstances do we put a guard of honour on that pitch for anybody. There's plenty of players in the past who graced that pitch, and in the future and now, nobody is giving Shamrock Rovers a guard of honour in Turner's Cross.
Yeah.
They should never do that.
We know certain individuals will listen to this. You can probably gauge opinion of the backlash that will happen off of Wayne's statement there. So be good to see it not to happen anyway.
Honestly, if it does, look, the problem I have here is the club now have turned into kind of, we'll be the good guys of League of Ireland football, right? We'll be the pushovers, right? And this is happening. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care who has. This is my opinion. Don't care. I firmly believe they will be told to do it. I'm telling you now, if it happens, people will not be happy. There's nobody in that stand, that shed, will agree to that.
What?
And they'll actually be in there this time.
Yeah. I'd be very disappointed if we did that. This is football. This is not like, it wasn't done in the first division, it shouldn't be done here.
Yeah, so the players going to be there clapping them off.
Especially a Dublin club.
Yeah. Players clapping them off while the fans are calling them a bunch of wankers.
100%. I'd agree 100%. I wouldn't be for doing it, but I think the decision has to come from the dressing room, from management and the players. Nobody else can make that decision.
Yeah.
And Mark Ludden, I believe, in treaty last week, said no to a Guard of Honour for Galway. And he's a former Galway player. He's treaty captain. And he just said, no, not happening. And players backed him. And there was no Guard of Honour from treaty for Galway United. Might have upset a few Galway heads, I believe. But so, que sera, sera, you know. And
God love him.
and that's the way it should be. And like, I don't know when this Guard of Honour stuff started. And if I remember correctly, I think Waterford did give us one last year after we won the league. I can't remember. I have a feeling they did, but I'll always say that's their choice, you know. I don't care. If Rovers win the league, this is our choice as a playing staff and a coaching staff, and as I said, that's where it should come from. And if they want to give Rovers a Guard of Honour, that's their choice. But
this is our chance now to gain back what we are, and that's Cork City Football Club. And so it's a chance to get back the city of old, like the whole us against them. This is our chance to do it. Yeah. Take it or leave it.
Wouldn't be for me. I'm sure there are those amongst the fan base who would think that you should, that it's, you know, disrespectful not to do it and whatnot. No, not for me. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Jackie, what's the score in the Cove Ravenders match?
Still 1-0. Looked like Cove should have maybe had a penalty there, but it wasn't given. Cove are well on top here. Well on top. Dominating the ball. Dominating the chances.
And how's Jack playing? Because we are...
A win in Wexford...
That was your preempt there to...
I've been jacking off my meat. What else can I do?
You still haven't learned the words. Like it's like, do you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to get Shrina, or not Shrina. We're going to have to get an outsider to record it with the words in place and the whole lot, and start playing that version. I think that's the only way to do it.
Sultan's reunion tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, look, I think they drew 1-1 with Kerry last Friday night. I don't think it mattered in the slightest. As we speak, they're 1-0 up in Wexford. Look to be the better side, look to be in control. Jack's playing well, controlling things. Great free kick there about 20 minutes ago that the keeper did well to save. So, any win here is a great result for them, to be fair. So,
I'm fully convinced it's going to be us on
Saturday night.
It's going to happen.
Okay, it doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. I'll admit it.
Choosing your favourite child, is it?
No. Scott, there's only one favourite child. Like Cove Ramblers aren't even a distant relation. I'm not gonna go down that route at all. Like, it's just I think we beat Cove Ramblers in a playoff final. Genuinely believe that.
Dreamed it on 2.
Ah, yeah. Postman Pat, and in black and white cat.
The cat mixed race.
My cat is also mixed race, just so you know.
Mixed race.
Duncan Noonan says, should there be acknowledgements for fans who go home and away all season to promote going to more games? Definitely not questioning my choices and trying to validate them. Wayne Mullins.
Did the fans get their money back from Dundalk?
Well, I didn't apply, actually. And the other person I spoke to...
Were you supposed to apply? Was there instructions to apply?
Well, it came from the mouth of Dermot Usher, but I didn't hear it myself. But
he said to apply, okay.
Passed on. Okay. I think just emailed the club. I think we emailed the club was what it was.
Well, we can get the money back so that we gave you to go there, like, so might as well.
To be fair, I would presume that anybody who did email and seek the ticket money back did get it back.
I couldn't imagine they get away with that one.
Yeah.
What was this question? I didn't say. I was just asking because I know you were there, so you didn't, obviously.
What was the question even here? Yeah, should there be acknowledgements for fans who go home and away all season? Well, I'd like to see.
No, there shouldn't.
You
want a medal?
You see clubs do buses and stuff. Like even Kerry are doing them. Like just help out fans.
We can't do a Cork City official bus. Like it would be carnage.
Yeah, covered this many times before. It's just like.
I'm not getting to that. What happens on tour stays on tour.
Colm Nolan says, who are the best custodians for the league? Currently, the FAI aren't, and it seems as if VM are the best thing to happen in years. Should clubs be forced to have a certain percentage of fan ownership or fans on board? Will Cork, he says, give Rovers Guard of Honour as champions? We covered the Guard of Honour bit. Decky, FAI.
He keeps slipping through the net. Like, this is a Shamrock Rovers fan messaging us, like. And he keeps slipping through the net, and everyone keeps...
He's agitating. That's what he's doing.
That's what he's trying to do.
That Guard of Honour question is just to agitate us.
Because I've told him we're not doing it.
To the punch. Yeah, we beat him to the punch. The rest of it, custodians for the league. I mean, the clubs ran the league for years themselves, and it ended up back with the FAI because they made a balls of it. Are the FAI making a balls of it? I'm not sure they're making a balls of it, but they're not pushing it on either. Like, so I don't know. I genuinely don't know who the best custodians are. If he's talking about clubs, I don't believe for a second that you can force clubs to give a certain amount to fan ownership, or, you know, you see this thing in England now where there's fans reps on the board. Now it's all a load of bollocks. Like, clubs live and die, from my opinion, on their ownership models, and I don't think you can force ownership models on any one club or any group of clubs, to be honest with you, you know.
Yeah. Boring Kean, Wayne, there's a cataclysmic event on Earth, and NASA have discovered a safe place in space, and you've been given a rocket for you and the people you love to escape. Everyone you hold dear is on the rocket, but there's a space left. Is it Decky or Dan? 96 FM rocket will start shriening.
That's a tough question. That's a horrible question. You know what? I go for Dan because I think Decky's lived his life. I think you need to go up there, get all the Martians, and just have a bit of fun up there. And do you know what? I stay down with Decky. That's what I do. I stay here with Decky.
Just
argue about Portugal in a tour, a 3-man midfield.
That was actually the catastrophic event he was referring to. Billy Darney comes in. He says, "Think Mr. S. Shreenan would do a bit of moonlighting? ? Thought Dan, brackets desperate Dan that is, ref the babes was going to step in between ye. There was a Norrie deep inside one of ye, and by he came out all Jack Russell-esque." He also followed us up with, "Poor Wayne, you fecker, couldn't get a word in edgeways. Shut him down. Toe tap towers, junta." Who's the one who couldn't get a word in edgeways? I can't figure that one out.
I think he was saying I was the one with the Norrie inside me anyway. That definitely came out, etc. I don't know. That's what I'm taking from it, but
well, he did say poor Wayne.
I don't know, Billy.
So he's on your side.
Yeah.
Thanks, Billy.
Shirts on the wall, Killian/Jamie. Can you ask Decky how hard life is supporting both Cork City and Everton? I assume weekly therapy sessions are necessary. Just remember, Decky, at the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, for your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
Okay, two things on that. Like, my sporting life is, as he's pointed out, Cork City, Everton, and the New York Jets, which is American football. Like, Cork City win something every now and again. Everton last won something in 1995 and were last relevant, 10, 15 years ago. New York Jets have won one Super Bowl in their lifetime. Have finished bottom of their division, I think, 7 of the last 9 years. I mean, therapy doesn't cover it. Like, my weekends are just abysmal, but you grow to become angry and you grow to become this little volatile man over the weekend who's just ready to explode because all his sporting life is absolutely shit, and yet you stick at it. And what I firmly believe is when the good days come, they will be better than anything else because they're going to come eventually. They have to. The second thing is, and I'm confused, I don't understand, why is he sending me or quoting me words from a Mickey Mouse song from Carousel the Musical? What's that about? It's not like Carousel is a decent musical. It's probably a musical that sits. It sits on, but why is he quoting a song from Carousel the Musical? Like what's the point in that? I don't understand it, because they said Carousel is probably a musical that's not in the top tier of musicals. Definitely not. It doesn't sit with the greats like Les Mis and Evita and Blood Brothers and all these great productions. And, you know, Carousel always strikes you as a musical who thinks it's much better than it actually is. And fans of Carousel kind of go around hoping that fans of other musicals will like them and they want them to like them. But generally fans of other musicals hate fans of Carousel. And I don't understand why he's just quoting me random words from a random song from a random musical. It doesn't really make much sense. As I said, give me Les Mis any day of the week, like proper musical, like stand-up musical.
This is still a Cork City podcast. If you've just joined,
Blood Brothers, and it's like gone something decent, not Carousel. Like, come on, have standards.
And there's the first F-bomb.
If you want to introduce musicals,
there's been a load of F-bombs.
Just introduce decent musicals, like, you know.
Billy Dorney,
something decent, like.
Can the Shed ever return to its glory days? Referencing years back, kindergarten at the moment. Corner boys will be all in the geriatric ward within 15 years. I love the Cork Celtic times. Will Cork City soccer be great again? My main hope in JFK's memory, will the family bus return? There's a fair few questions there, but you answered the first one fairly abruptly.
There's a simple answer to that is we're 5 years behind every other club. That's in our tier, which is the top tier. We're 5 years behind. We're playing catch up. So no, we're not. The good times are a long way away.
And he also comes in, any possibility of asking ex-Celtic and Hibs / City players management on in the future? Lads like Blondie, Carroll not getting any younger. And if he only knew how much pleasure and pride and passion they brought to Cork back then, it was Cork won. Everyone else didn't matter.
Don't know who they are.
It was a different time. Yeah, sorry, it was a different time, a different era.
What was the divide between Celtic and Hibs? Was it north?
What we should do actually is get someone on about that question. That's what someone like Jerry Desmond would be amazing to get on the podcast.
Yeah.
I would do anything to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, you do it as a Patreon special or something and put it out that way. And you can have those discussions then. But I never heard of Blondie Carroll until that moment in time there. So, like, it doesn't mean anything to us. Anyway. It was before our time. It was before our time. That's the problem. I have no understanding of it. You know?
Right.
No, that does sound like a great idea. We'll get a Patreon special. From Instagram, if people were identified, why are the stands closed versus Derry? I think we covered that last week. I can't stress how important Keats is.
I can answer that. I can answer that if you want.
Go on.
It's because the bottle hit. Because the bottle hit Mark Doyle, not because it was thrown. Because it hit him.
So you're allowed to throw bottles, is it?
I don't know. Look, I mean, I don't know.
That's the question here. Ask your inside source on this one.
If it had just been thrown, we probably would have just been fined, but because it hit him, the sections have been closed, is my understanding.
That's grand. So next time, just to the corner boys or to the shed end section A, if you don't mind notifying the player before you throw the bottle and just tell him to move to the side, we won't get banned.
You could imagine the lads. You could imagine some fella getting dragged out of the corner on Friday night after throwing a bottle, and he's going to the guard. The boys in the podcast said if I threw it and missed him, it'd be all right. It's only if I hit him, I'll get in trouble. You know, it's like
I better withdraw that actually.
I can't stress how important Keith is to us. Surely clubs will be in.
Do you know? I probably get banned now for inciting a riot. You know that.
Regardless of City staying up or not, should Holland be given a shot of staying on next season?
2 more years. Seriously, 2 years. Give it to someone. Give it time. Can't get worse than this year. Let Richie take it over. Richie's a boy. Richie's a man. Richie, go for it.
I know we've a hard on for Richie, but Decky, do you agree?
I do, to a degree. I think like everybody has to start somewhere, and that's my thing. And like, how do other managers become great managers? They all got to start somewhere, and maybe Richie Holland has the ability. He's going to prove to be the greatest League of Ireland manager over the next 20 years. We just need to give him a start. Maybe he's going to prove that he's not, and he'll be one and done in a season. But somewhere along the line, I think we're going to have to just take a chance. Maybe we gave Colin a start. We won the first division under him. It didn't work out long term. I've no problem. I'm always a risk taker out. I've no problem giving people an opportunity and a start. So I would say, yeah, give him a shot.
Okay. We're Colin. Did we ever talk about Colin on the national ticket for the women's team? Not on the men's pod anyway, did we? Look.
So an hour and a half pod this.
We do one last. we have done numerous times on Last Damistan. You should probably listen to the other podcasts.
Such a sexist, like it's kind of funny.
Be sure to follow us on Patreon. A quick reminder. Any overriding final thoughts? Wayne, we'll start with you.
Just thank you to our incredible friends at nordvpn.com for kindly sponsoring us again. Shockingly, I'm sure someone was not paying attention when they came back to us again. But look, hey, thanks for coming back to us, and don't forget nordvpn.com/toe-tap.
Dickie, your video is gone, but did you have anything to say?
Yeah, something strange happened there. Stop recording for a second, but it's fine. No, I just like to back what Scotty said there. Big thanks to NordVPN for coming on board again. It's a massive name. It definitely helps us. And if people are looking for a VPN, we would strongly encourage them to sign up with Nord and take advantage of the great discount that's on offer.
On a serious note, if you don't take it up, at least research it. It's very important. And you know what? With nordvpn.com/toe-tap, they've got a good deal for us. Free.
Sold here, souls. I'd like to say I love Cork City FC women's football team, and your one, the Graham Norton show, was absolutely correct. For my is an absolute shithole. That concludes the other 3 Amigos podcast. I'll see you on the other side. Wayne Mullins, bye to you, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye. We're doing that chow thing.
Ciao,
Decky, good luck. You're back.
Adios.
The Other 3 Amigos podcast with Damien Shreenan, Wayne Mullins and Declan McCormack.
3 lads, 1 podcast.